So, just watched the latest episode of You Had to Be There podcast, and they were talking about bedrooms. And I know they probably got so many responses to their question on their Instagram stories about bedroom stories. Well, I kind of had a vaulted ceiling, and I was getting very, very good about adhering posters to my wall. You had to do all four sides of the poster, well, all corners of the poster, so they don't fall off in the middle of the night, because that was always the worst, right? You put it on your wall and then suddenly you didn't have enough tape and it fell on you. So I got really good at that, and over time, I got, as I aged, I also know the tricks to, not that I ever took the posters down on my wall, but I know the tricks of, okay, you would do the tape this way and this way and this way and this way, and oh look, you can take it off. Anyway, I digress. So they talked about rooms and how to also, how we all rearranged our rooms. And funny enough, I'm sure, I'm not the only one. I mean, clearly I'm not the only one, as they all mentioned on the podcast, that they also all rearranged their rooms. My parents got, maybe not annoyed, but they didn't want me to keep rearranging my room. So they bought me the American Girl doll little rooms, like the miniature rooms, so I could do that instead. At a certain point, I couldn't move my room around because one of the dressers I had was just way too heavy to move, even on the carpet. So they got me the little rooms instead, which, okay, fine. I guess it worked over time. It just kind of sucks because after a while I also did stop playing with them, because it's like, oh, I'm not rearranging my room. I'm also not rearranging this little house. I think those were also pretty expensive at the time, but it did serve its purpose versus rearranging my room every time they came up to see me. I rearranged that instead. So that was kind of funny. I never had a blown up chair. I think we had beanbags at some point, maybe not in my room, maybe like the collective living room or the basement, but definitely the basement. That's where the gaming system was. No, it was also my parents' bedroom, but then we got the N64, we got moved to the basement. I always wanted a Papasan chair. Actually, I think I always wanted a butterfly chair growing up, but I definitely wanted a Papasan chair. Those things were mad expensive. I got one when I moved out after college, and because I had it against the wall, it kept dripping the paint because it had a lean. It was a shame. I loved that chair. It was so comfortable. I want one, but again, expensive. Pier 1 Airports is out of business now, so that's not helpful. Let's see, what else? They, Erin made a point of her hot take of the side part. Okay, so when my hair was I have to obviously share all my thoughts about everything, but when my hair was longer, I always had to have it in a ponytail, and because I never had bangs, I had a middle part. So saying, Gen Z people need to suck it up and realize that they did not invent the middle part. We've always had middle parts. Everyone's always had middle parts. So get over it. So there's that little take to that. Let's see, what else? I don't know. These little podcasts are fun. I do have to point out, again, super random, not that anybody listens to these little chit chats, but the girls need to remember that if you're listening to the podcast, you need to describe things, because they're showing posters and they're like, oh, the poster. It's like, what poster? Like, the only reason, I'm usually multitasking when I'm watching these videos, so like I have to watch the video to be like, oh, that poster. They probably aren't going to be watching my video, my reply, my comments to their video, but just a little note that if you're going to jump on the You Had to Be There podcast, you should probably watch it on YouTube and not listen to it. They're not always very good about explaining what it is they're showing. So anyway, wanted to do this while it was on my mind. You get up close and personal with my face here because of where I am. So there you go.